Apocalypse Gaming.
Hi there my friends, and now I'm adding the same mix of Fenris Grey and Scab Red, so it's the 4:3 ratio. It is actually quite purpley, so I'll be going back and going over that in a redder tone, but it's giving me a good base colour for where I want to come up from. So this is getting added to all the fin sections on the Crashed Aquila. I debated which way to go here. I thought maybe go the ostentatious metallicised look because it is the Empire and they do like that ostentatiousness, but then I thought, well, it's also getting used by the Imperial Guard, and the Guard aren't just as ostentatious as the Space Marines and many others in the Imperium, so tried to stick with the urban camo tones throughout the whole piece by going back and putting that sort of tone on these parts. Um, Other than that, there's not much else going on here. The paint went on nice and smooth. It's thinned down quite heavily, say it's 43 mix, but it's also mixed with flow improver to the same ratio. We've got a 10% flow improver mix, so for every 1 drop of paint that went in, 1 drop of flow improver also went in. The flow improver we're using is the Windsor Newton stuff. So then bolt gun metal was added to all the metal parts. So basically the vents, the thrusters, exposed engine parts, piping, anything along those lines is where the bolt gun's getting added, just to break up the camo tones, add a little bit of bling to the model, a little bit of feature, just a spot colour type idea, but obviously in quite a few different regions, just to help lift the model. So there's not many exposed parts, which helps it keep its camo tones. After that, I went on and I'm doing the windows. The windows are getting hit with bolt gun metal. Then once the windows have been hit up with the bolt gun, I am then adding P3 old gold. I think the gold is. I really didn't like this gold, putting it on at all. It's not leaving a nice feel, a nice smooth feel. It's quite lumpy. It might be due to the age of it. It's quite an old paint we've had in there for a long time, but certainly not liking the way it went on. Although it's got a nice sheen, probably a nicer sheen than the GW paints, but not a nice feel going on. Finally, in this section, I'm then adding Khemri Brown all over the rest of the model that's been unpainted. So the mud that the landers crashed and landed in is getting hit up with this, just to give it an all over base coat. I hadn't realised how much of it there was, and in doing this I've noticed a few parts of the Aquila Lander, one big massive section that somehow I had managed to miss on one of the parts. So what you don't see in video is, once the Khemri Brown's done, is me going back, redoing all the process you've saw already on the big section I missed, and a couple of smaller sections which are just split up off the main models on each of the scenery bits. So that's where we are, and if you're enjoying this, I'm looking forward to seeing you in part 4. Take care, my friends. Have a good time. Bye bye.